I've added a lot of teeth marks to the end of that stem since I bought this pipe. I clean it between every use. That's how I've been doing it. After I finish smoking it, I let it sit until it cools off completely, room temperature. If I don't finish that pipe, because sometimes I don't finish the bowl. If I don't, then I let it cool off completely. Again, you know, same thing. I let it cool off completely then as well, and clean the junk out of the bowl. Clean the remaining tobacco out of the bowl. But I don't do this part, running the brushes through it, until right before I smoke it again. Because if you gotta wait to let it cool down anyways, I'd rather clean it right before or right after I smoke. And if I can't do it right after, then right before will work. The only thing that gets done right after is cleaning the tobacco out of the bowl. So far it's staying pretty clean. I'm not having a lot of trouble with it. What do we want to smoke? We're doing Balkan. We're doing Balkan 2. So I bought, before I load this, my first 3 blends from a local tobacco shop, house blends. I'm assuming those are house blends. They didn't have any brand name on them, no packaging. Balkan 2 is the one I'm going to smoke right now. And then we're going to try and start the videos telling us about, whatever, my videos telling you about the blends I got. That's what the Balkan 2 looks like. I wasn't sure where to start. They had probably a couple dozen blends. In big glass jars. And I understand that aromatic tobacco is the type that that most people associate with pipe smoking when they think of pipe smoke. That really sweet, irresistible smell. I've learned that is aromatic tobacco. Now, it sounds like there are, you know, I don't know how many categories there are. There's aromatic. There are English blends. It sounds like some of the English blends also taste really sweet. I don't know. I'm not sure. Kind of trying to do a mix of doing my research but also staying blind about things and just figuring it out on my own. Just, you know, to prolong the experience, to make it more fun, a little more relaxed, like. But the impression I get is that if it's an aromatic tobacco, it's definitely got that classic sweet pipe tobacco scent. But not all tobaccos that have that scent or that smell are aromatic. That's the impression I get. So I don't know what the other ones are. Still figuring all that out. There's the charring light. Let's do this. Let's sit there for a second. So I don't like wasting that tobacco like that, but I'm kind of limited in space here, so it's okay. When I tamp it, the method I've been taking is to just kind of flatten it like a puck. You know, I'm not going hard. I'm trying to do everything light, err on the side of being too light, too little. Because I've already learned that too much and you can't burn the stuff. You know, smoke it too strong, too hard, you can't taste it, and so on. Man, that stuff is good. As I said, I bought these blends. These are house blends, I believe, from the closest tobacco shop to me, which is the only place within an hour that I can get either pipes or tobacco. Except for one place which charged $30 for a tin of pipe tobacco that I was able to find. It was Peterson Nightcap. I found it online for $12.71. The place right around the corner from me has just a handful of Peterson blends. They're charging $30 a tin. No way, Jose. For the same price plus a little bit of shipping, I got 2 tins. So, the only place really that I can buy stuff in person, whether it's a pipe or supplies or tobacco, is an hour, a little over an hour from here. So I went in there. They had a lot of different tobaccos, and starting from the total bottom, I decided to do what I usually do if I go into something knowing nothing about it, where I'm trying to, you know, multiple choice. If I've got a lot of options to choose something and there's a pretty big variety and I don't know anything about any of it, I look for extremes. I try to find what's on the complete extreme of each end, and then from there I try to work into the middle. So in keeping with that, I decided to pick the darkest tobacco that had the sweetest smell. A really light one that didn't really have much of a smell at all, and something that looked like a dead center. It looked like a middle ground between those two. That way I can, by checking each extreme, helps me understand the mixtures better, right? That's the idea. If you've never had coffee with milk and someone gives you a cup of it, you don't know how much of that's coffee and how much of that's milk. So it's a good idea to start with a glass of milk, then start with a glass of black coffee. Then you know how to mix them to your own liking. That's the idea anyways. So that's what I did with this tobacco. I started, the first one that I picked, here. I don't know if you can read these or not. There we go. Yeah. First one I picked was River Bend. Which, as you can see, hopefully, very dark, almost purple. It's so dark, it's like a dark black, almost purple. It looks like mulch. It's very moist, extremely sweet. Yeah. You know, the lighting isn't great in here, but whatever. It's dark, dark chocolate. Nearly so dark it's almost purple in places. That was River Bend. On the opposite end of that spectrum, I went with Navy Flake. It's holding some suction. This was one of 2 or 3 of the lightest blends that they had, as far as color goes, right? I've jostled it around and toyed with it a bit, so it's kind of breaking up. It's staying moist. That jar is doing a good job. It's staying pretty moist. That's good. I've got more of it over here in this jar, this can, because I'm trying like a kind of an experiment with it. I'm running tests. I'm running tests on the Navy Flake to to try and solve a puzzle. That I'll get more on that later. I'll get to that later. So Riverbend was the darker one. Navy Flake. Riverbend was the darker one. Navy Flake was the lighter one. And then I went for a middle ground, and that is Balkan 2. Now, I don't know how well you'll see this one. It's a little drier than the other two, and it went into the jar the same day that they did. Of course, I've been smoking more of it than the others, so maybe it's just not had the chance to. I don't know. It's like it's drying out faster than the other two were, and I don't know yet why. Those are the blends that I got. And now I'll do a video on each one of them. We're going to start, I think, with Balkan 2.